Hey everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Flow Tao Salon, or as we love to say around here, Tao Dui Shalong. I am absolutely thrilled to have you joining us today. In our explainer sessions, we take a really structured visual approach to unpacking some of the most fascinating shifts happening in our society and economy right now. And today? Well, today, we're setting a fairly intellectual tone because we're diving deep into a profound sociological change. We are looking at a shift that is fundamentally rewriting how we process grief and honor our non-human family members. We're going to be exploring the pet bereavement economy, mapping its incredible journey from something that was kind of taboo to a deeply respectful, highly structured tribute. So, let's jump right in. Now, to make sure we're grounding our discussion in hard facts, we are drawing directly from a really comprehensive, fascinating report. It was published in April 2026 by Hangzhou Zhiyi Technology Co., Ltd. You might also know them through their data system, Liandanlu. The official title of their research is Chuangpong Binzang Xin Hangye Dongsha, which translates to Pet Bereavement, New Industry Insights. Honestly, this report gives us such a brilliant, data-driven window into an industry that is literally transforming right before our eyes. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Market scale. 2. Historical evolution. 3. Core drivers. 4. Supply chain. And 5. Key findings. All right, let's kick things off with part 1, market scale. Get this, 3.5 times. The report projects that from 2021 to 2025, the market size for pet bereavement is going to grow from 12.5 billion RMB to an absolutely astounding 43.5 billion RMB. That is a 3.5x market expansion in just 4 years. Think about that for a second. This isn't just steady, normal economic growth. It's a massive, rapid release of previously hidden demand. It really shows us that society is finally, fully giving pet owners permission to mourn. When you break down the year-over-year numbers, it gets even more interesting. We see the market size jumping from 12.5 to 23.1 billion RMB, with growth rates consistently holding above 28%, and actually hitting 37.5% in 2023. But the absolutely crucial point I want to highlight here is the pet cremation rate. It climbed from 8.2% in 2021 to 13.8% in 2023. Alongside this, the number of actual service agencies boomed from 320 to 530. What does that tell us? It clearly shows that people are actively seeking out formal, ritualized ways to say goodbye. So, what's the big takeaway from all this data? Well, we are still very much in a phase of increasing market penetration. The demand is absolutely there, and it's rushing to the surface. Because of that, the whole industry is being forced to grow up quickly. We're moving away from those isolated mom-and-pop setups, accelerating straight toward professional branding, chain operations, and highly refined services. There is just immense opportunity here for structured growth. Moving right along to part 2, historical evolution. It's kind of wild to look at how this all unfolded. Before 2010, we were in the budding phase. This was mostly scattered individuals, really simple services, basically zero brand awareness. Then, between 2010 and 2019, we hit the exploring phase. This is when you started seeing professional storefronts pop up in Tier 1 cities as the emotional value of pets really began to awaken. From 2020 to 2024, the erupting phase took over, heavily catalyzed by pandemic-era emotional needs and a huge influx of capital. And now, from 2025 onward, we are squarely in the standardizing phase. We're seeing national standards rolling out, way stricter supervision, and rapid industry integration. It went from 0 to 60 incredibly fast. Okay, part 3, core drivers. The Zhiyi Technology report identifies 4 main engines driving this boom. First, policy standardization, meaning laws are moving from fragmented to systematic, which creates real barriers to entry. Second, emotional consumption. The post-90s and post-2000s generations are the main consumers now, and they are more than willing to pay for emotional value. Third, social structure changes. And fourth, technology innovation. Let's actually zoom in on those last 2, because they are just fascinating. So our social structure is shifting dramatically. Right now, we've got over 240 million single adults and 130 million empty nesters. For these massive demographic groups, pets are not just animals, they are literal family members. And because of this incredibly deep emotional bond, the data shows that a staggering 70% of pet owners expect an exclusive, dedicated farewell for their pets. Let that sink in for a moment. For hundreds of millions of people, a pet is the core of their daily emotional support system. That translates to a massive, rigid demand for emotional comfort. And to meet that very modern emotional demand, we have our fourth driver, technology innovation. And guys, this isn't just about eco-friendly smart incinerators. The industry is tapping into VR and AI to offer advanced emotional services. They're even using blockchain to create permanent digital monuments in the metaverse. It literally ensures a pet's memory outlasts physical constraints. Technology is brilliantly solving physical pain points while inventing entirely new, high-value ways for grieving owners to remember their companions forever. Let's look under the hood now. Part 4. Supply chain. The business ecosystem breaks down into 3 very clear steps. You've got your upstream, which provides the equipment and raw materials, then your midstream, where the actual services and operations take place, and finally, the downstream, which covers all the channels used to actually reach the consumer. Let's break each of those down. The upstream tier is the physical foundation. Obviously, it relies heavily on professional equipment manufacturers for things like eco-friendly cremators and gas treatment systems. But it also involves craft and light industry suppliers. These are the folks creating the tangible items of memory: the beautiful urns, the delicate paw print clay kits, hair storage bottles, and custom memorial stones. This physical layer is absolutely crucial for the heartfelt rituals that come later. Next up is the midstream, and I really want to emphasize this. This is the emotional core of the entire industry. Yes, it involves the logistics of body handling, cold chain transport, cleaning, beauty prep, and of course, the actual cremation or eco-burial. But it increasingly relies on high-value derivative services. We're talking elaborate memorial planning, setting up digital shrines, and, crucially, partnering with psychological institutions to offer real grief counseling and advice on pet wills. It's exactly where logistics seamlessly meet psychological care. Finally, we have the downstream channels. Because this is such an incredibly sensitive topic, trust and transparency absolutely dictate consumer acquisition here. Offline, it relies heavily on vet recommendations and hospital partnerships. Online, it's driven by social media empathy and really transparent e-commerce reviews. And at the grassroots level, it's all about building brand empathy through community pet groups and NGO events. Honestly, if a brand lacks empathy here, they simply will not survive. And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, Key Findings. To wrap up this explainer and synthesize everything we've just uncovered, I want to leave you with the 3 most important findings and values from this report. Number 1, emotion is the primary economic engine. The whole willingness to pay stems entirely from people seeing their pets as genuine family. Number 2, compliance and standardization are the new survival thresholds. As of 2026, if a business isn't strictly following national environmental and service standards, they are officially out of the game. And number 3, technology and psychology are the keys unlocking high-value derivative services. The future of this industry isn't just in cremation, it's in VR memorials and expert grief counseling. It really is a perfect summary of an industry coming of age. And that brings our deep dive to a close. As this industry continues to evolve and mature, it actually leaves us with a pretty profound question to chew on. If the way we treat our animals in death reflects our deepest societal values, what does this whole new era of pet bereavement say about the future of human empathy? It's something to think about for sure. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Floatao Salon to unpack all of this. Until next time, 陶醉沙龙，马年兴隆。